Hey everyone, before we dive into this story, please consider subscribing to my channel for more content like this. 3 days before my mother's 60th birthday party, I stepped into my parents' kitchen to deliver a gift, a rare first edition book I knew she'd cherish. What I walked into, however, felt like an ambush. My father stood there, arms folded tightly. My older brother, Kenneth, loomed nearby, his face radiating that familiar air of condescension. My mother sat at the table, visibly uneasy, but not objecting to the conversation about to unfold. Emma, we need to talk about Saturday, my father said, his tone heavy. Mom's party, I replied. I'll be there around 7. Kenneth cut in sharply. That's exactly what we're here to discuss, Emma. This is a big deal. Mom's country club friends, Dad's business contacts, senior partners from my firm. These are important people. I braced myself, sensing the direction this was headed. We think it's better if you skip this one, my father said, trying to sound tactful but missing the mark. You have to understand, these events are about appearances. Mom's friends gossip. They compare their kids' successes. And you and me, I asked softly. Kenneth didn't hold back. You're 30, Emma. You live alone in a rented apartment, work from home doing who knows what with computers, drive a 2014 car, and dress like you're still in college. We can't have you at Mom's party. People will ask questions we don't want to answer. The words lingered, sharp and heavy. My mother stared at her hands. My father looked slightly guilty but didn't correct Kenneth. I see, I said, keeping my voice steady. So, I'm an embarrassment. Don't make this dramatic, Kenneth snapped. We're being realistic. This is a high society event. You don't belong in that world, and it's not fair to ask you to act like you do. It'd be awkward for everyone. I turned to my mother. Mom, is this what you want? She finally met my gaze. Emma, I love you, but Kenneth's right. Mrs. Whitmore's daughter just became a partner at her law firm. The Johnson's son is a heart surgeon. What do I say when people ask about you? That you work from home on a computer. You could say I'm an entrepreneur, I offered. Kenneth laughed outright. An entrepreneur, Emma? You've been figuring yourself out for 8 years. That's not a business. That's dodging a real job. I nodded slowly, absorbing how my family saw me. Then I placed the wrapped book on the counter and left without another word. What they didn't know, what they never bothered to ask, was what I'd been doing during those 8 years of figuring myself out. I'd founded a software company. It began modestly, just me and a talented developer I met at a tech conference. We built a data analytics platform for mid-sized businesses, bridging a gap between complex enterprise tools and simple spreadsheets. The first 2 years were grueling. 18-hour days, cheap noodle dinners, every cent poured back into the company. By year 3, we had 50 clients and started hiring. By year 5, we had 3 offices and Fortune 500 clients. By year 7, major tech firms were circling, eager to buy us out. I kept it quiet, partly because mixing family and business creates messy dynamics, and partly because I wanted to see how long my family would cling to their assumptions about my lack of ambition without asking a single real question about my work. Apparently, forever. The timing of their decision to exclude me was almost poetic. For the past 6 months, I'd been in intense negotiations with Tech Venture Global, a massive tech conglomerate. They wanted to acquire my company for $340 million. After months of due diligence, contract talks, and legal reviews, we were set to finalize the deal and announce it publicly on Friday, the day before my mother's party. I spent the 3 days after that kitchen confrontation working with my co-founder, Alex, and our lawyers to tie up loose ends. The acquisition would make me wealthier than I'd ever dreamed. with my equity stake yielding about $180 million after taxes. On Friday afternoon, we signed the papers in a sleek downtown conference room. Champagne flowed, hands were shaken. As the celebration quieted, Tech Ventures CEO Margaret Reeves pulled me aside. "Emma, what you've built is extraordinary," she said. "This platform will revolutionize how we serve mid-market clients. You should be incredibly proud." "Thank you, Margaret." "I am," I replied. She reminded me the press release would go live at 6 p.m., noting that major media outlets were ready to cover it. Local entrepreneur sells company for $340 million. It's big news in this market, she said. I glanced at my watch. 6 p.m. would hit right during my mother's party, which started at 5:30. Perfect timing, I said. Margaret raised an eyebrow. Big plans tonight? My mother's birthday party, I replied, though I wasn't invited. Her eyes widened. They didn't invite you to your own mother's party on the day you closed a 9-figure deal? They don't know about the deal or the company, I said. They think I'm, quote, avoiding a real career. Margaret stared, then burst out laughing. Oh, Emma, I almost feel bad for them. Almost. I returned to my rental apartment, actually a penthouse condo I'd bought outright 3 years ago, but never mentioned to my family, and slipped into cozy clothes. I had no intention of crashing the party. I wasn't chasing dramatic showdowns or desperate to prove myself. They'd excluded me, and I was at peace with it. At 6:15, my phone rang. It was Alex. "Emma, have you seen the news?" "It's everywhere. Local channels, business networks, your name and photo all over social media." I flipped on the TV. Sure enough, the local news led with it. Local tech entrepreneur sells company for $340 million, one of the state's largest acquisitions. My professional headshot from our company website filled the screen. The anchor detailed my background, the company's growth, and the deal's significance. They'd even sent a reporter to stand outside our downtown office. My phone buzzed with messages, colleagues, clients, tech community friends, all offering congratulations. Then a call came from an unfamiliar number. "Miss Harrison, this is Jennifer Walsh from Channel 7 News. We're doing a special segment on your acquisition for our 10 o'clock business spotlight. Could we get an interview?" "I appreciate the interest," I said, "but I'm not seeking media attention right now." "I understand, but this is a huge story. You're 30, built a company from scratch, and just closed one of the state's biggest tech deals. People need to hear this kind of success story. Would you reconsider?"